So let's come to the final part. Here we have a cloud models. So as I told you, these are the important cloud models. So on-premise, this is actually a difference between these cloud models and on-premises environment. So if you see here, so this is completely on-premise environment, which means you are actually managing everything on-premise. In the sense, think we have a company and they have some IT infrastructure. So they are actually taking care of the, as I told you, power, IT administrators, and hardware. So operating system and license, whatever they install the application inside that server or database, they need to take care of its license again. So everything you need to take care. I'll just brief about each and every infrastructure currently. So we are comparing with on-premise. We are comparing cloud models with on-premise. What is the difference actually? So let's start with IaaS, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service, and software as a service. So let me go to PPT. Okay, now, sorry, IaaS. IaaS means infrastructure as a service. Infra as a service, which means in the name itself you have the answer, which means infrastructure as a service. In the sense, as I told you, Microsoft has a lot of data centers across the world. Okay, uh, I'll give a small example. You have, whenever you want a flat, okay, if you purchase that flat, it costs you some 45 lakhs or something. Depends upon your requirement. Okay, if you want to rent that flat, okay, it costs you only some, take 15,000, 15K per month. Okay, so there is there is, you currently you don't have the requirement in order to purchase it, or if you don't have that money, that much of use money, you don't have that capability to afford that much of use amount for the IT infrastructure. So just compare this example with the IT environment. Okay, you need some servers, databases, networking components. In order to manage these infrastructure, you need IT admin, IT network admin, storage admin, which means a backup admin, and sysadmin. So there are again a lot of stuff. Power. So you need to take care of power, AC consumption, and AC maintenance. Again, maintenance. So there are a lot of stuff you need to take care on your own. If you when say requirement always changes, you will get a new requirement, new project. Then every time you have to increase these servers. Then obviously you need to increase your staff. You need to take care of the power, again charges, maintenance, everything. So you don't have that capacity or capability in order to purchase all these. Then obviously you are interested for the cloud. So this cloud environment, for startups, this is a very easy task. Just take a subscription, and if you want to purchase it, you are actually paying it for 45 lakhs, but here you are only using 15,000 per month. How much you are using, that much you pay. Simple concept. You can, whenever you want, in cloud environment, whenever you want, just create a server, create and delete. Okay, whenever you want, you just scale up, scale down. Whenever you have a requirement, scale up and scale down. So which means how much you have the usage, then that much you are actually using it, and then you are deleting it, which means then Microsoft is charging you for the usage. So in on-premises, if you are paying amount for physical server, think it is like 5,000 rupees per month. Trust me, in cloud you are only paying some 800 rupees. So whatever the work you are actually doing there, here also you are doing it. But in fact, you no need to manage the IT administrators, sys administrators, network admins. You should have a guy who knows cloud administration. This guy can manage everything. Okay, that's what cloud environment is a big hit. So which means, so as you see this IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service means Microsoft is giving their infrastructure as a rent, and they are providing their infrastructure as a service. Okay, and as an end user, I just take a subscription, I use that infrastructure and I pay the rent for the Microsoft Azure. Depends on subscription basis and depends on usage basis. So this is what IaaS is. So if you take IaaS, Microsoft is giving you the infrastructure, which means a server. Think if you have a requirement, a server, okay, the server and its operating system license, operating system plus its license. Okay, this is only infrastructure. Microsoft is only giving its infrastructure, which means they have a data center, they have a lot of servers. This whenever you just say I need a server with so and so configuration with this name, then they within less than 5 minutes they create a server for you and they give it for you. Automatically a server will be created with your name, the IP address and the password, everything you choose. Okay, the server will be ready within 5 minutes. So they are only giving the server plus operating system and its license. They are not going to take care of the application, they are not going to take care of this maintenance part. What is maintenance? As I told you, you need to patch the server whenever security one, in order to avoid security vulnerabilities or security concerns. Okay, you need to patch it on regular basis. If it is a Windows operating system, even though Linux, yes, still you need to do some patching work, there will be some maintenance work. So in order to support this, we need some administrators. Okay, a cloud admin, think cloud admin. Okay, this is what IaaS is. IaaS is nothing but providing this infrastructure for rent, which means infrastructure as a service refers to whenever you want a resource, just use the IaaS feature and then you can deploy your resource, and whenever you don't want it, you just delete it. So this is renting the infrastructure as a service is nothing but IaaS. Now let's see the PaaS component. Platform as a service. Platform as a service means, so in this question, in this meaning, you have complete meaning in this particular phrase. So platform as a service means providing entire platform in order to work. Okay, which means this is purely, this PaaS is only for the developers. Okay, this is the best suitable for the developers. Why PaaS? What is the difference between IaaS and PaaS? In IaaS, as I told you, in IaaS you are getting a server plus OS plus license. If it is Windows, if it is Linux, you already know it's a open source. Okay, if it is Windows, Microsoft is also charging you for the license. How much time you use this server, that much you need to pay for this. In IaaS, okay, platform as a service, which means Microsoft is giving you the server, operating system, license. In advance, you are actually getting the application also. Whatever the application you want to install inside the server, okay, you need to have the license of that application plus license. Think if a developer want, as I told you earlier, developers need some kind of development applications like Visual Studio, and there are a lot of applications. So testing, Selenium, these are all the licensed softwares. Okay, in order to use those applications after a deployment of, for example, if you are using only a simple IaaS server, okay, you need to install your application. IT cloud administrator need to install the application. He need to manage that, and he need to take care of that application. He need to patch that. He need to take maintenance. But in PaaS, Microsoft is taking care of everything. Okay, everything, which means Microsoft is taking care of server, operating system, license plus whatever the application you use inside that inside that particular server. Okay, they are actually taking care of that application and its license. What you have to take care in PaaS? You have to take care only the data, the code you write in this application. You have to take care of the security of that code. That's it. Everything is being managed. Microsoft only will patch the server. Everything will be done by the Microsoft. So there will be a difference in this IaaS and PaaS. What is that difference? Difference is they'll charge you a little bit more because everything is being managed by the Microsoft. That's the reason. So final thing, SaaS, software as a service. So this is the last but not the least. SaaS, software as a service. Software as a service. So if you see this, I think you heard about Office. Best example for this software as a service is Office 365, which means MS Office, MS Office 2016. Currently, this Office 2016 is hosted as a software as a service, because in olden days you have MS Office 2003, 2006, and 2010. So a lot of Office versions. Why actually they are actually upgrading that application? They are actually implementing some new features in it, and security. If you see the 2003 or 2007, sorry, 2007, uh, for example, if you have a 2007 MS Office, whenever you just take a copy from your friend, you just ask for the license. He says like, yeah, it is there in it. Just open that notepad file or Excel file in it and just copy that copy the license and paste it. You are pasting it, which means you are pirating the application. Many companies still they are actually using a pirated version of Office 2007, which is a completely a huge loss for the company. If you want to use a software or application, you have to purchase the license of it. You are pirating it. Instead of buying that application, you are pirating that application, which is offense again, legal offense. So in order to avoid those piracy kind of stuff, Microsoft started implementing 2013 and 2016 in a SaaS environment. What is a SaaS environment? First, what is a SaaS environment? uh, you have a server or a database which is hosted this 16 Office 16. Okay, so developers already they have kind of developers who are already worked, and they have hosted their data, I mean, which means application in the particular server. This server is connected with a cloud environment. Okay, so this application is hosted in the cloud right now. So whoever, as a end users in the sense we, okay, whenever you want an application to be installed on your machine, earlier days you just use your pen drive or a CD, just copy that application, and you are actually installing it offline and you are pirating that application. But currently this application made online, which means whenever you want to download or install Office 2016, you need to connect to the cloud. You need to connect to the cloud, and then you should have appropriate credentials like username and password, even though everyone has a Microsoft account right now in the market. So if you have the Microsoft account also, they will first check whether you have a proper permissions to access Office 16 file or not. So here authentication is getting controlled by the Microsoft in the cloud environment, which means you can't pirate that application. For example, if you have already purchased earlier, then Microsoft, it will validate you and it will provide you access to the Office 2016. And if you go to the C drive and you have all the application files inside your C drive, if you copy those applications and if you paste it in this environment, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Applications are already upgraded, you can't access it. So again, whenever it is giving you access to that application, it captures all your details, personal details like IP address, MAC address. So whenever if you want to use that in a second machine, then it will validate you whether you are actually using it or not. So that's how the authentication security levels are in next level, next phase. That's how they are avoiding the piracies. So which means it's a good benefit for the product based companies whenever they are actually launching their applications. Okay, instead of pirating it, everyone starts purchase it, because you don't get the pirated version of it. So that's how they're actually securing it. So this is a SaaS environment, software as a service. So hosting that software in a cloud environment and providing it as a service to the end users or customers is nothing but a SaaS, software as a service. So we are not going to take care of this software as a service part, because we are into the Azure IaaS and PaaS platform, because SaaS is completely again it's completely separate stuff. So I'm going to cover the infrastructure as a service and platform as a service, which means you as a cloud engineer, cloud support engineer, you know how to manage all these current applications. For example, if you see the small difference in on-premises, you are managing application, data, runtime, middleware, OS, server, storage, networking. But in IaaS, as I told you, you are only managing virtualization, which means a server, storage, and networking, and the operating system license. Operating system you need to manage, which means you need to select that operating system, you need to patch that operating system. So that part you need to take care in IaaS. In platform as a service, just you need to take care of application. Once it is installed, you need to take care of that application and data, whatever you put inside that application. Everything is being managed by Microsoft. But in software as a service, everything is being managed by Microsoft. So this is completely a different concept again. So I'm going to teach you infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. Currently in market, you have a good scope and good requirement for the IaaS and PaaS. So that's all about the cloud infrastructure. So these are the simple PPTs with a brief explanation. What is IaaS and the difference? What is customer managing and what the Microsoft Azure is managing? This, if you see this, as I told you in my PPT earlier, so this is simple. And if you see this, this is a SaaS, software as a service. Okay, this is all about all about the demo of Azure. So what are the cloud components, cloud models, and what are the offerings, and what we are actually managing it in future. So how to troubleshoot those resources, how to deploy it. And in this training, I'm going to teach you the backend troubleshooting also. As I told you, as I worked as a earlier Microsoft support engineer globally, so I know what happens in the backend troubleshooting also. For example, you get a scenario like you have some resources down in production environment. As a support engineer, you don't know how to do it because everyone outsiders, they don't know how to troubleshoot it. They need to opt for the support plan. You need to pay thousands of dollars for the Microsoft in order to take the technical support. Okay, as a support engineer, as I already worked with them, so I'm going to teach you how to fix that issue. Okay, think you are a support engineer currently, you have a support plan, you raise a support request. Microsoft team, depending upon the priority of the issue, they just reply you back and they say, hey, this is the solution for this. And first of all, they need to understand your situation, understand your infrastructure, then only they can help you with that stuff. So again, in order to fix that issue, you are actually taking a lot of time. Okay, then what is the being a support engineer, what is the use if you are taking a lot of time? If that is a production scenario, then of course you are failed as a support engineer. Then that, but in my trainings, I'm going to teach you how to do that backend troubleshooting also. So you may ask a question that so backend, you are saying like it's a backend troubleshooting. Do we have access to it? Of course we do have, because we can use a PowerShell. We can use a CLI in order to fix those issues. If you are facing some issue with the portal, then of course we have alternatives, because it's critical resources. You may have a lot of resources. I mean environments in cloud like production, dev, staging, QA, load. So there are a lot of environments. So if it is a production environment, that will be a critical scenario. Then you should have some alternative in order to access your resources. That's the reason Azure has implemented along with the PowerShell, CLI, and ARM templates, a lot of stuff again. So I'm going to cover that part as well. From tomorrow, I'm going to start the sessions. From tomorrow 9 o'clock, just ping me your comfortable timing so that we can start